from the campus of Westfield State University. This is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley. With convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut, visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org.
Wow, it is Tuesday, June 15th, 2021. 2021 and counting. My name is Bob Plass. I am the president of Westfield on weekends.
The arbiter of the airways.
The arbiter of the airways. Well, I don't know the arbiter or whatever, but I'm here with JPEG Luca, trusty, dusty, lusty, musty, crusty, and well-modulated sidekick, and the well-traveled, well-worked boss of
beaten
us
like
all.
a redheaded, yeah.
Yeah, Peter Coles, the kitten of the keys, behind the microphone, and
Meow.
yeah, and look, I am. You look, I've got a picture of my house with our gay
It's well
pride.
positioned.
Isn't that good? I can't. I don't know where the little phone. Where do
You would
I
not
point?
make a good weatherman, Bob Plass.
No, here we go. There.
It's not easy to do this.
I know.
I don't know how the weatherman does that. Yeah,
That's what I just said. If you put on your headphones, you'd know.
I know what you're saying back there. I'm just ignoring it.
Right.
Look at this. All right, here's the roof line.
No, it's not even close.
That's
no,
the
not
tree
even close.
line.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Then I go this. This is really difficult.
I better get the buzzer out.
It gives me a whole new spiel on the weather.
Yeah, it's also early in the morning, Bob, so we have more than one excuse for you.
Do you think left-handed brain or right-handed brain when you do that kind of stuff? Now, see, if I had my left hand, I'm even worse. It's over here somewhere. Where is it? Over here. I guess you have to have the picture in your head of where you are in relationship to the house.
No, you've got to.
Could that work?
See,
No,
on a true weather stage,
Yeah.
they usually have monitors on either side of the wall. So either end of the wall, they have a monitor, and then they have one out front like you guys have.
So it looks like he's looking at the wall behind him, but he's actually looking at the monitor that's at the same
Correct.
level.
Yes.
And,
Absolutely. Yep.
Oh,
we're giving up secrets of the television.
I've heard people talk about it, so it's not that big of a secret.
yeah.
I remember when my kid was young. Now I'll go back.
How long ago was that, Jake?
Many
Long,
years.
long time
Father
ago.
of the Year. Father's Day is coming up this Sunday, so Father of the Year, we'll call you.
The kid's like 28. You know
Oh, my
how
God.
I'm feeling old.
That's your youngest is 28?
That's my oldest.
What's your youngest?
She's 24. Yeah. So there's still.
That makes it a little bit good, but she's still in her 20s. She's out of the house. Yeah, are they all out
They're
of the
both out of the house. Yes, and we haven't decided. We haven't decided what to do. Should we downsize? Should we not downsize? I'm not going to move again. Well, you know the argument.
Well, here's the thing: if you
Anybody that's
downsize,
been
they'll never move back in.
yeah. Well, downsized to a small tent in the backyard.
Yeah.
So, but
Oh, a
where I
small
was,
condo are nice.
what?
A small condo is nice.
Yes, okay.
Two
But
bedrooms, so they can come over as
But
a
I wouldn't
guest.
have room for all my stuff.
No, that's it.
You rent a storage locker.
You have to do before. We're going to ask Jessica Martin this in the second hour, but you have to do an inventory. If you're going to buy a house, you have to either get rid of your stuff beforehand and make that decision, or, it's an interesting thing because you don't necessarily think of, if we're going to downsize, well, where are we going to put this, and when are we going to get rid of it?
The next time I move, I'm going to get rid of almost everything.
The next time I move, it's going to be to a very small box, and I know the guy that runs the crematorium in Springfield that can do it.
No, see,
Oh,
yeah, I'm
my
going to move
God.
before that.
Oh, my
Unless,
God.
of course, something happens to me, and then all bets are off.
Well, no, then we get that little small box. And they're pretty because you can make them out of stone and marble and,
I got
told-
one sitting in my living room, actually in my office.
I kind of like that.
James's former husband and his dog is in that urn in my office. Did you know that?
I kind of like the old chock full of nuts can.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
I wouldn't go that little classy.
Oh, come on. That's classy.
Have you
Maxwell
ever-
House.
See,
Okay.
I would say spend the money on a keg party
Yeah.
and have a party and just turn and burn and just have my urn there and have fun.
Pose this week. There was a death on Pose. I won't give anybody anything away, but
What in the blue hell are you talking about?
no, Pose, the
It's gotta be
television
another
show
show,
that.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know what that. I
Okay.
don't know what television is anymore.
Something. There was a death, and what they did was they put the ashes in little lockets that people could have around their necks.
Oh, yeah. That's
a lot of people
thing.
do that.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
That's a big thing now.
How about dog ashes? We have the ashes of all of our dogs.
See, now that's getting a little weird.
Yeah, you think so? They come in a little beautiful box, but it just sits there in an undisclosed location. It's not even, the urn is out there, and we have a
Well, you
nice,
gotta-
beautiful.
Now, if you can line them up on the mantle, that would be cool.
Oh, I don't know. That would be a little morbid. If you had it,
Why?
I don't know. Maybe not.
Look, if you've got it, flaunt it.
Yeah. But let's see. We
Okay.
have.
So
I've got
maybe that's not the right
Beanie
way to
and
be.
Maggie's Beanie, Maggie, and Tramp. I've got 3 dogs and 1 man in my house. The ashes of.
Right, why,
Yeah.
why not Beanie and wasn't it Beanie and Cecil? Remember Beanie
Oh yeah.
and
Oh,
Cecil?
yeah. Yeah. That was my nickname for the dog's real name was Bonnie, and I don't know. It just didn't sound like a dog's name to me.
Bonnie?
So
No,
But,
Beanie.
well,
Beanie
I
does.
but there are plenty. But so we called her Beanie.
Bonnie, who is
Beautiful and Scott.
who is a character in a television show that I watch occasionally, it's called Mom. If you've seen it, if you're up at night, you'll see it because it's always running at night.
Oh, really?
But there's one episode where she steals her ex-husband's ashes and puts them in a little brown paper bag and takes them home, which is
Interesting.
hilarious.
And
It's
is there a scene at all when somebody police man does they think it's pot or somebody
no.
mistakes it for weed?
No.
And I smoked my husband. I don't know.
Oh no, that's getting okay. That's getting way too weird.
Okay. We were on a theme when we got way off.
Were we?
You think?
Yeah. We were talking about your children and your fatherhood, and that was in reference.
No, before that, we were talking about television, and that's how I got into The Kid, because I remember taking him over to Channel 22. Brian Lapis got the little scout troop in. But the kids were fascinated. We got them actually into the studio during a live news broadcast, and this was right after they opened the new studio in Chicopee.
Really?
So I was fascinated by this because I wanted to see the new place. I'd been to the old one up on the mountain, but I'd never been to the new one. So bringing Nick and his kids in, they brought him in, and I'm like, "What are you, nuts? You're bringing a bunch of 8-year-olds into a studio with live that's going on here?"
Yeah.
These kids were so polite; they all sat in the corner and just fascinated, wide-eyed, watching this whole thing unfold.
Yeah.
And they were still fascinated by Brian being up there in front of the blue screen or green screen. And I go back way too far. My first time on television was on Ranger Andy on Channel 3, the old broadcast
Oh, my
house.
aching
And,
back.
Yeah, and it was black and
Ranger
white.
Andy.
Yep. black and white television, so we didn't have green screens. I don't know did they use stuff like that? No, that was John Quill with the boards that he slid back and forth behind him.
Correct.
Yeah. So, man, I'm going back a long way.
So green screens didn't come in till when
color television.
Of course, because yeah. They couldn't use green screens because the screens.
Where's that NBC theme? Brought to you in living color.
Oh yeah, dun
dun dun.
Dum, bum, bum,
You'll find it in a minute.
Yeah.
But those are my first.
The more you know.
The more you know. Now that one's stupid.
Yeah.
So hey. I still my first fascination with television was Channel 3, and it was magic back then. You know, I imagine it still is to kids today, even though they're computer savvy. Yeah. To see how the production is put together is still pretty cool.
Well, it is, and I think that if people, there are people that come in here to watch their friends be on our show or whatever, and I wonder if they're in awe of our studio or whatever. I mean, give us a long shot. Oh, Peter, I guess you can't do it today, or can you?
But you know what? He needs a camera that is behind him, looking down at the control consoles. Back in the day, that everything that he does on a few PCs would have taken up a room this size.
Correct.
Yeah.
But we're lucky to have, and thanks to Peter Coles and his design ideas, when they said we could have this small space over here. It's not that small for what we do. Most and Peter, you can think about all of the community television
that I've done over the years.
Well, no,
Literally.
that's around here in Western Mass. Not a lot of them have the facilities we have here.
Well, yeah, they have traditional facilities, and it costs a lot more money. I got really creative when they said, you have a budget of this, and I started laughing, and they said, no, really. Mayor Sullivan said, no, really, that's your budget. I said, really? It's not like 3 times that, which is still skimping?
Yeah.
If I was to build this studio in a traditional style, like a Westfield State even, it would be $250,000.
Oh, wow.
Minimum. And I built it for $52.
Wow.
Including getting enough equipment to do the parade and stand up a public access.
It's amazing what you're able to do just out of a suitcase. We do, and like you say, you do the parades, you do the ball games, you did graduation. And by the way, I should say thank you for all you did up there for people that couldn't get to graduation this year. Pete Coles, Kenny Stomsky, and who else was with you on there? Wasn't that
the Slattery?
John Slattery was there.
John
Slattery.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
So it was just great because you put all of that together.
It wasn't the greatest.
Oh, come on.
Because we had to go to Plan B,
fine.
but we got it on the air.
It was fine. Anything on
what was
done well.
Plan A that got scrubbed just for everybody?
Plan A was the computer that's in the rack out there. The first day we tried it, wouldn't accept the streaming camera on the roof, which was what we needed for the wide shot. So we were like, all right, well, we did a hybrid effort between the cameras and got it on the air. The second day, it was a lot harder. They fixed the computer. I had the technician remoted in overnight and fixed the computer. Mm-hmm. But now it wouldn't recognize the cameras that were plugged into it. And I still haven't been able to,
and broke 2 others.
I still haven't been able to figure that one out. So
wow.
I'll have to do that sometime over the summer.
Yeah.
But so we did it all. We did another hybrid approach, which was Plan C, and the computer was overheating. So there's parts where it was struggling to stream. But these things happen.
Yeah.
And
is that when it overheats? Is that when you get that shimmering effect on the screen?
No, when it overheats, it like hesitates. It looks like it's hesitating.
Oh, okay. Well, we see that a lot in Zoom. Is that
that's computers that are overtaxed
or bandwidth that's being overtaxed.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, one or the other. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well,
but it's still for everything that had to come together to make that happen, and all the last minute decisions, and a lot of those fell in the shoulders of Stefan Zaporowski.
Yeah.
We got him off.
It did come off. We worked between the raindrops, and he and I were talking Friday morning.
Raining that night?
Well, not
rained
really.
that morning.
Yeah. And he and I were talking
the
Friday morning.
for those in Wisconsin.
And
Stefan Zaporowski.
he says, "Can we do this? When do you have to know?" I says, "I'm already on site. We're going to do it." And everything that we put up in the air was covered. So if it rained a little, it wasn't going to kill us.
It did. We had that brief shower for about 5 minutes. It made everything hotter.
As soon as Kenny went out and put his cameras out, it started to rain. He had
it made things hotter. Believe it or not, because it got steamy.
Was this one of those 95-degree days?
It was humid. It wasn't really hot.
Yeah.
But it was, we got it all off and done well. As I said to somebody, I mean, the sound system, I couldn't have been happier with how things ran. But if a PA runs well, nobody notices.
Yeah.
It's only if things go wrong that everybody knows.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So the fact that that nobody came up and says, "Wow, that sounded great." Well, no, it did what it was supposed to do, and then some. So I was.
One of my claims to fame, I was responsible for writing the script for the graduation for Westfield State while I was working at Westfield State in the president's office.
They let you do that?
Yeah. I wrote the script. Now, that doesn't mean that
How many
I wrote...
chapters long was it, Bob?
It was forever because...
because Bob wrote it. I set him right up for that.
And the assignment that I got one year was we have to cut 15 minutes or 10 minutes out of the length of the program. So we had to then go back and cut. But I would do all the intros, when they and now stepping up to the microphone is the honorable so and so and so and so and so, and then I would craft a speech for Evan Dobell to read, but he would often used the same speech
outline?
over and over. It's a wonderful speech. But then I would adapt some of it. Now, my memory is unclear. I don't think I know I was the editor of the student speeches because the student speeches were always worrisome in a college level. Let's face it. Yeah.
Oh God, you should have watched the Hampshire College ones that I watched.
Oh, a little bit of mischief.
I saw a Hampshire College one.
Yeah.
Where a guy it was hosted by transgender, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
And then this little this dude from El Salvador, I think. Just eviscerated the president of the college, who was a what's the guy that invented the internet?
Al Gore.
As a best friend of Al Gore, he was the president of the college.
And for the record, Al Gore didn't really invent.
I know.
Internet.
I did.
But this dude.
I did.
This dude eviscerated the president of the college. Eviscerated him.
Oh man.
I'm like, did anybody check this one for copy?
Oh yeah.
Before you put it on.
We had to do.
And
that.
I was like, oh my God, I can't believe he's doing this.
Well, some people have.
But you take that
ones.
chance. Oh, and I remember one year that the speaker forgot his speech. Can you imagine?
No, that's a common thing because when in fact 2 years ago when we were doing the graduation out at the airport because the field wasn't available, and one of the kids walked up and he was told that the speech would be on the podium. And he's just looking around and can't find it. Can't. I mean, it's got to be the most embarrassing thing in the world with hundreds of people out in front of you and you can't find your speech. He eventually found it.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember one time that we used to do it in a clipboard and everything was Arial. I use still the same font for my program notes here that were big so that the president could read it, but and we would adapting them right up to the very minute. I mean, it was really kind of something like that. And I remember once sitting and saying, "I think he's got the wrong one. I think he's got the wrong one." And
who's this guy think he was? POTUS?
Yeah, no. Well, sometimes when you're in a position of that kind of power or prestige or whatever, you have to act like a president, I suppose. Well, that's why he's called president, right? If you really think
POTUS.
I'm glad you noticed. Yeah.
Yeah. What would president of the Westfield State be? POWSU. POWSU. Pausu. What would
Let's not go there. Okay.
What would Stefan Zaporowski be? Superintendent. SUPWS.
Just call him Soup.
We just call him Soup.
Zap.
Zap or
Super Zap.
Have you
Zap.
seen his logo? Soup.
Soup.
Soup. Hey, 6:20 in the morning.
Wait a minute. Have
everybody.
you seen his logo? You ever watch
No,
his
I've
show?
never seen it. His logo.
Put the logo
There's
on.
his logo.
There's his logo, yeah.
Look at that. Oh my god.
Super Zap.
And is that Rob there in the
No, that's Chris Rogers.
Okay, gotcha.
You can't tell by the bald dome.
Right, he's got no hair.
I was going to say that bald dome, but he looked like Lex Luthor. Can you think of
He does kind of look like Lex Luthor.
He's supposed to be Robin.
Next time you see,
he's supposed to be Robin. The superintendent's got a big Z on his Superman outfit. Yeah, that's we have a great superintendent.
You're
Let's give a
confusing
shout out.
superheroes.
Don't you love Stefan Zaporowski? Is there anybody?
But
that
he has
doesn't
done a
like
nice job,
Stefan?
yeah.
Oh my God. I just loved him.
Hey, Bob, if possible today, we also have, if you want to,
Yeah.
we have a launch, which you'll find great because it's recycling, and two, it's using a weapon of war for a peaceful mission.
Well, I like using weapons of war for a peaceful mission. That's for sure, as long as they're not guns. But
No, this is a rocket, Bob.
How long is the flight?
It'll take about 2 minutes.
And when is it?
7 o'clock in the morning, so about an hour from now.
Oh, all right. We'll have to.
It's 6:20 now, so that would be 40
Jessica
minutes.
Martin and stuff. And where's it going?
Up.
It's launching a couple satellites for the National Reconnaissance Office.
Hey, here's a question for you, Peter. I heard it on the radio the other day, and I started to think we've been putting up all these things. Are they in danger? Is there too much stuff in space?
Yes, but there's companies working on ways to harvest that and bring it back to Earth or deorbit it and clear things out.
All you got to do is slow it down.
That's the biggest business opportunity out there right now.
Oh, to
Cleaning
be
up
a
space.
gatherer of
Clean up
of
space.
junk,
I want
yeah.
to be a space junk collector.
A space junk.
All you got to do is go up, slow it down a little, then go to the next, slow it down a little, go to the next, and they all start burning up in the atmosphere.
Oh, is that what happens?
Yeah.
Oh, you know when you start talking science, Mr. Professor, I go crazy.
That wasn't really the science way to describe what needs to be done,
Well,
but
it's
okay.
Close to science. Close to science. Hey, Errol Garner was 97 years old. Would have been 97 last week, and I've been meaning to play his song or song by Errol Garner, and it just occurred to me that it's a good combination that I'm playing a Gershwin song because over at Barrington Stage, in Barrington Stage is in Pittsfield, right? I always get confused.
Yes.
Used to be in Barrington. Great Barrington.
Great
but
Barrington.
now
They have a downtown location.
Well, it's
Beautiful
great.
downtown.
Yeah, Barrington Stage is a whole lot of theaters altogether.
Yeah. Well, they're doing a show until I think July 5th or something like that called "Who Could Ask for Anything More?" The music
Could
of
Ask for
the music of George Gershwin. So I've got a combination
Great
of
tune.
the birthday boy Errol Garner, 97 years. He's unfortunately he's passed away, but he's still 97 years old.
Would have been.
Would have been. Do you stop?
You stop aging at some point, and
When you
generally,
die.
yes, how he would have been
so
so
that-
many years
You
old.
can either be a vampire or you can die,
All right. He would have
according
been.
to lore.
All right. Okay. Here is Errol Gardner singing or playing on his great piano from his Carmel by the Sea album. It's a classic album. You should get this album. Carmel by the Sea at a concert, September 1955. Swonderful by George Gershwin. Here we go.
Support for community radio on WSKB provided by Westfield Electro. Employing over 140 skilled platers, painters, and technicians, Westfield Electroplating was founded in 1946 and was the first company in the country to achieve National Aerospace and Defense Contractor Program accreditation, proudly maintaining that status for over a decade. Westfield Electroplating provides over 50 quality finishes to meet your corrosion, cosmetic, or performance needs. On the web at www.westfieldplating.com or 413-568-3716. Westfield Electroplating, putting the finishing touches on technology.
I'm Mark Auerbach. Join me every Friday at 8 a.m. for ArtsBeat, where you'll meet interesting actors, directors, designers, and musicians here in Western New England.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
We're talking about vacations. Wentworth by the Sea. Tell us about
Wentworth by the Sea is a classic hotel in New Hampshire. It's right on the shore of New Hampshire. Which
Portsmouth, I find.
Should be easy to find because there's not much shore in New Hampshire. But you're right, it is. It's in Portsmouth.
I always get that confused. I always get Vermont, whether Vermont is on the other side or New Hampshire is on the other side.
They both have mountains, but only one of them has a bit of
so it's New Hampshire.
Space on the shore.
Yeah.
So Wentworth by the Sea. My family used to go there for Thanksgiving, and we'd all gather there for Thanksgiving. And,
That's cool.
Every
How
year.
much did that?
That's like the mid-range. Well, off-season, I could see it would be fairly inexpensive. Right?
As they say, it was a pretty penny. It's
really?
It's not
even off-season.
Yeah, oh yeah, because they do it. It's a buffet.
Like the big brunch.
It's a huge buffet, and and it's all fancy stuff. And they really, they treat you like a millionaire when you walk in.
It looks like a castle. It looks like something that is in Banff. I've seen it in.
But
Banff.
it's the same class. If you think about it, you've probably seen these. If you've never been there, you've certainly seen a picture of the Mount Washington Hotel. Up in New Hampshire. Another one that is still a classic, and these are all wooden hotels well over 100 years old. There aren't many of them left because, frankly, they've burned down.
Yeah, sure.
Once they catch fire, you just step
that,
back
as
and let
they
it
say,
go.
is that.
Yeah. Since over the years, they've added sprinkler systems, so it's certainly less likely for that to happen. If it does, it's contained. But another one is in California, off of San Diego. It is the Del Coronado Hotel. It's on Coronado Island out there.
Yes, yeah.
And I had the opportunity to stay there many years ago when the kids were little. And that's another classic, beautiful hotel. And in it are pictures of all of the movie stars that have stayed there. Now, my kids at the time were probably 6 and 10 years old. So they're kind of little. And they had been to Disney and had been to what's the hotel down there? The Tower of Terror with the elevators that go. No, the Tower of Terror has the hotel. The elevators.
There's a hotel next to the Tower of Terror.
No, but it's
Hollywood Hotel.
Okay, so but they've been to the Tower of Terror that my son called the Terror of Tower. He couldn't figure that out, and I always loved that. And it's got the elevators that kind of drop out from under you. So we walk into here, and this has a classic early 1900s
Glamour,
elevator.
opulence. Oh,
The
yeah.
elevator that goes up between the stairs and just has grids all around it.
Oh, yeah.
And it has an operator. It doesn't have push buttons. It's got the old-fashioned control that there's an elevator operator in there. So we go, hey, I want to take the old elevator. So the kids go in, and the doors open, and there's this scary little elevator guy with the old gray suit and the flat top hat.
Going up, sir.
And that's exactly what he did, and the kids stopped dead. They were not going to go in that elevator. So,
Going down, sir.
They've seen too much. Yeah. The what's it? Sharon Springs, New York. There is a great place to stay called the American Hotel, but it over to the side is the hotel that they used for The Shining.
Oh,
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where the elevator opens and all the red liquid comes out.
Hey, we got a good announcement to make.
What good announcement?
Well, I don't know what's good in one way or not, but I think it's exciting that we have free concerts in Westfield from Westfield Concerts, Inc., which
And
you are
Westfield on weekends.
Well, we help to fund that with a bunch of other folks.
Basically, the whole thing is, and this is the set of concerts we've been talking about off and on now. We have 33 1/3 Live's Killer Queen Experience.
I'm
basically
so bummed I'm going to miss that.
Yeah, me
a
too.
great Queen tribute band. That's going to be the end of July. Then these are all the fourth Saturdays in July, August, and September. In August, we're going to have the Big 80s Dance Party. This is a band out of Pennsylvania that is phenomenal. And that's going to be three of them are benefits for Westfield on weekends. One of them is a benefit. The 80s concert's a benefit for Kiwanis. But these are all for good causes. And while we have announced recently, just this past Wednesday, as a matter of fact, that they are now free. These, thanks to a whole lot of sponsors. Topping the list is Westfield Gas and Electric.
Superintendent's favorite word, free.
Free.
Yeah.
And
City of Westfield and
City of
Westfield.
Westfield on weekends. A lot of businesses stepped up when they found out we were close. We wanted to try and make this free. A lot of people stepped up to really help this happen.
Yeah.
So I can't thank all of those businesses enough. Go out to the website, westfieldlivemusic.com, and everybody's listed there. And this is
going to be an exciting.
time.
We're thrilled to do it. I was at the Westfield on Weekends headquarters down at 105 Elm Street this past weekend. A woman calls on the phone, and we answer. And she's saying, "How dare you charge money for concerts?" And I said, Barbara said, "Ma'am, we need to, we're all volunteers here, for one. Number two, Westfield on Weekends is not the, we put the blame on Westfield Live Concerts. We said that they are produced by a different organization. We're helping, the proceeds are going to benefit us." And she said "Well, we've had a rough year." And we said, "Oh, of course you have, ma'am. And why are you charging for those concerts?" And we couldn't announce. We knew that we were
because
going to,
they weren't WOW concerts.
Well, no, but also, so we explained.
Do people understand that there's costs involved with these?
Well,
unless you have
apparently
corporate,
she didn't.
unless you have corporate sponsorship,
Yeah,
those costs have to get paid by somebody.
$10,000 a concert. Basically, it costs sometimes to
Sure.
produce a quality concert with great staging and lighting, like
A high-end show, that's probably a low estimate. For what is done or what has been done around here in Westfield. Yeah. And obviously these bands are not working for a lot of money. They'll often get a piece of the gate, and that's how they would get a bonus if they filled the field.
Like a tip.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where they make their money. So the bands aren't working for much. The folks putting together the show are working for little or nothing.
Yeah.
There's somebody that I know pretty well that's donating sound and lighting gear. There's
I think you sleep with him, don't you? Well, you sleep.
Let's
at
not
him.
start spreading rumors.
But then there's and then there's people like me and Jay, that I'm donating my personal sound gear for the Brewfest.
And that's another thing that's happening. When's Brewfest? That's happening.
Same day as one of your shows. It's August 28th.
But that's during the day.
Yes, so
And
we'll
then
be
they
done
can
by
head
5
over to the
o'clock.
show.
Yeah, we'll be done by 5 o'clock.
That's great. That's
and
great.
when we break down, if we don't go to a local beer establishment, we'll come over too.
And
it's going to be a long day.
And Brewfest is a benefit for
the Park Children's Museum. It traditionally was held in the Westfield News lot. And we could not secure that lot, but the city gave us the old lot right next door, which used to be a dirt lot, and now it is paved. So we actually have a little bit more space. So we'll be in the same spot, basically, just
right downtown.
50 feet to the south
downtown. The
to finish to finish the story that I started a while ago. Look at Jessica's coming. She's right on time and everything. Jessica Martin's here.
She's supposed to be here at 7. This is not right on time.
You guys can spread out and she can sit in the middle.
Yeah. Okay. So let me tell you the story. So she, the woman on the phone is complaining, and we tried the classic thing. Ma'am, if you'd like to join the committee that is trying to fund these concerts, we'd love to have you. Click. Click.
Are you surprised by that?
Oh, I don't know. But I thought to myself, you call to complain, you hear the truth about how much, the money needs to be raised. It's not just sitting there. It needs to be funded. Please help us. Click the word.
No.
You didn't even get it out, right?
Didn't even get it out. But
isn't it time for a break, Bob?
But yeah, there is a great movie to see, In the Heights. My great friend, I don't even know him, but
You've got no friends,
I
Bob.
don't know that. Lin-Manuel Miranda's the composer of Hamilton. His first show that he started to write in college is In the Heights, and it's now been made into a movie by the director of Crazy Rich Asians, John Chu. It's got great reviews. And incidentally, the theme for our program, that the beginning theme where the clock, or it sounds like an alarm clock, that's from In the Heights. That's the beginning of an In the Heights song. And so anyway, Lin isn't the star of the movie. He's the composer of the movie. He makes it a short
Into the Heights. Was he in that show at all?
Yeah, he was. It won a Tony, and he was the lead in that show. He wrote a show because there was not Latinx performers. There weren't shows for Latinx performers on Broadway. So he wrote a show for himself, basically, and to talk about Washington Heights and the culture in Washington Heights. And so he makes an appearance in the movie, sings one little song, and I'm going to play that song for you. It's called Per Agua, and it takes place in the summertime, and it's about, Lynn is playing an ice shaver who, what do you call like Italian ice? It's similar to Italian ice.
It is, yeah. It's Italian ice. You shave the ice, put a little flavoring on it, put it in a cup, and give it to the kid.
That's right. Yeah. And in the culture in Washington Heights, it's called Per Agua. So this is Per Agua by Lin-Manuel Miranda from the great movie In the Heights. You can see it in the theaters, and I think it's on HBO Max now. So it's a good way to see it.
Oh, qué calor, qué calor, qué calor, qué calor. Oh, oh. Oh, piragua, piragua. Nubla que vais piragua, piragua, piragua. So sweet and nice piragua. Tengo de mango, tengo de parcha, de piña y de fresa. Tengo de china, de limón, de peso y de peseta. Hey, piragua, piragua. Nubla que vais piragua, piragua, piragua. So sweet and nice piragua. It's hotter than the islands are today. And Mr. Softy's trying to shut me down. But I keep scraping by till I can say, hey, pana, I run this town. Piragua, piragua. Keep scraping by, piragua, piragua, piragua. Keep scraping by, piragua. Keep scraping by, keep scraping by. Lai, lo, de, lo, lai, lo, de, lo, lai. Keep scraping by,
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes & Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com.
Wow, it's Tuesday with Bob Plass and Jessica Martin, the diva of real estate, books, and bees.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 at 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning, June 15th, 2021, and counting. And guess what? We've got Jessica Martin sitting next to us. Sitting next to me. Jay, I think, is going into the Kate Palmer booth.
I don't have that shot set up, so...
Come on in, Jay. Where are you going? What's he doing? He's just walking over the studio. Oh, God. What a great shot.
Get him in the shot. There he is.
Where is... Oh...
I have a wide shot for that, Jay. You don't have to get
Look
on your
at this.
knees.
Do we have our
Look at
pride
that.
flag
Great.
up and everything?
Isn't that great?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got to run.
Oh, so Jay's going off to the hinterlands. Thanks.
Great to see you, Jay.
Hey, Jessica Martin.
Good morning.
Hi. You are from Jessica Martin Realty, the Martin Hives on Facebook. You are an avid reader like me, and a swell dresser, and a.
I wore a fleece for you today. This was special for you.
Hey, Bob, we have a special treat from our good friend Danny Nason.
What is it?
He's got something new to play with. I'm going to show you something. He sent these over. That's Bob Plass.
Oh my God! Where, Danny? Look at that.
Is this an app or a painting?
It's
or
an
a
app,
photo?
and I think it makes you look like a painting. This is JPEG Luca.
Oh my!
Very gunslinger. I like this.
Mother.
This is me.
It's like an airbrush.
You look like Ferris Bueller or something there. Yeah. Honest to God.
My glasses are sideways, so they're probably out of adjustment.
I love it.
And last but not least, the best looking of all of us.
Whoa.
Oh. Danny.
You look like a Disney princess.
I was just going to say, like a cartoon Barbie doll.
Disney princess.
Word.
Thank you, Danny.
Could you send that to all of us so that...
yes, I can email them around. I downloaded them.
Oh, Danny, that's so nice.
Danny Nason with the visuals. He's always
Could I see that again? Are they based on who you're supposed to be?
He took real pictures.
It's an actual photograph. Like, that's probably my real estate photograph.
Yeah, it is. I'm sure it is.
And then it goes into a cartoon
An
character?
app. Well, it's an app.
Because
Jays doesn't look like a cartoon character.
He's using some filters.
He looks. Oh my God,
Jay
that's
looks like a gunslinger from the Wild West.
That's from one of the concerts on the Green, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Bob, you look like the kid version of yourself there.
I do look like the kid version. I wish I had that much hair.
Me, I look horrible. That was your last year hair, I think.
Yeah.
That was your COVID. That was your COVID hair.
I'm a little Botox there, don't you think? Take a good look at that. Botox.
And then there's me. I don't have no idea what I look like.
Peter, you look so sweet. Honest to God.
Thank you, Danny.
Thank you, Danny. That's so nice.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's nice. Speaking of your beautiful hair, you're back to your natural shade here.
Can you believe it? I haven't colored my hair now. It's been, it was January of 2020 was the last time I colored my hair. So I've been growing it out ever since. And now apparently this is what my real hair looks like.
It looks absolutely fine, and you look great. You know, how are things going in the realty business?
Oh, Bob, I'm tired.
You are.
Yes.
You're tired.
I'm not.
I'm tired.
I know. Well, let's talk about that too. How are things going in your real estate business?
Oh, man. Oh,
the
God.
struggle is still real.
I'm calling it the house of. I call it the house of. There are three initials that I use, and the one begins with W.
Yes.
Am I allowed to say that?
I think you could say all three letters together. Yeah.
House of WTF.
Yes. I did receive an email with that in the subject line, and I laughed.
There is so much chaos at our house that we're selling. It's a two-family, and so at any rate, my brother has taken to now. We are. I'm supposed to vacuum. This is my job for the week. Vacuum the cellar.
Oh, okay. You want to make sure that
I'm
that's
going to
clean down
vacuum
there.
the cellar.
Sure.
I'm going to also, the other assignment was to wash the windows in the basement
Okay.
and to make sure that the boilers are spotless.
Oh, okay.
Now,
A clean
what are you
boiler is
thinking on
very,
all this?
Very important. I would do a professional boiler. I mean, I guess maybe if he's thinking of wiping the dust from the top, don't
Yeah,
go.
that's it. That's it.
Okay, don't go poking around in your boilers. But
Yeah.
the professional boiler cleaning is always good right before you list for sale, because then you can say you've had a recent service of your heating system.
Oh, really?
So that's a little bit of a bonus. But in these days, sellers
doesn't
are not
matter. It
giving
doesn't
any
matter.
bonuses. Yeah, no.
Yeah. I heard a story at breakfast the other day that we had at our house for our friends, and Happy told us the story of her daughter who sold a house that wasn't ready. I mean, they were still moving everything. There were boxes, and it looked terrible inside. And somebody put the house on the market, and they sold it in like an hour.
Yeah.
People came in, and they could care less about the mess.
Even when it's a terrible mess. I'm listing a 3-family this week, hopefully today, but a 3-family house, and the apartments are really large, like they're 1,400 square foot apartments. So it's 3 very big floors, and each floor is occupied by a tenant who's been there for a long time, has a lot of stuff, and 2 out of 3 of them aren't the neatest, we'll say. So there's a lot of clutter and a lot of junk and, clothes piles on the bedroom floors, things like that. So I opted out of doing photos because you don't want to advertise, look at this mess, but I did floor plans of each floor. So when you look at the house online, you could see how big the rooms are and all that stuff.
Brilliant.
And that way only serious buyers would come to look at it. But yeah, it's a mess, and someone is definitely going to buy it, and very quickly. Like it's really wild to be selling something in this market, because usually it's opposite. Like when you make an offer on a house for a buyer, you just have to negotiate to get to the point where you can put a deal together. And sellers used to be more difficult to work with because you'd make all these promises like, I'm going to sell your house, I'm going to market it this way, and I'm going to do that. But now you can go to an appointment with someone who's interested in selling their house, and you can pretty much guarantee that you can sell their house in 5 minutes. It's crazy. And for more money than they ever deserve to make. It's just wild.
God.
People are overpaying like crazy.
Is there any clue as to when the interest rates are going to go up?
They keep saying they're going to go up, but I'm still not seeing them go up. I'm still seeing buyers close under 3%. And interest rates, I don't think, are something that snap up quickly. So even if they start to creep up, it's going to take a while before they're extra high. So it's still going to be low to borrow the money. And I've also been talking to people in my industry about, when's this going to end? When's this going to end? And those are all the conversations that we have. And I'm starting to think, just based on talking to other people, the price thing may not end. Like housing prices may be just a new premium thing. Like the houses may hold this value for a while if you overpaid, because there's no magic inventory. We're not going to be flooded with a bunch more houses. So there's a chance we're going to be looking at the prices the way they are for a little while.
Wow. I wondered, as I prepared our house, the attic, which was a giant mess weeks ago, and remember we had that whole big argument about whether to get a dumpster or not.
And just throw
We've
it out
carried
the
every
window.
damn thing down. Oh my God. And it's almost done, but it has a bureau or two and a trunk and a shelving up there. And my brother's philosophy is maybe we should leave these because they might be storage for people to what extent do you have to clean out things like attics and cellars?
Again, in a normal market, I would advise you to keep everything as clean and empty as possible. But in this market, it's not going to stop someone from buying the house. Someone may say, we want the attic empty upon closing, and then you would have to haul that stuff out of there, get someone to haul it out of there for you. But, normally I would say if it's not attached to the house, get it out.
Okay. All right. Well,
but if Dickie wants it to stay, let's just leave it.
Just get the thing on the market. Then they'll come in and say, you got to move this.
Yes.
It's like that. We have a refrigerator from the 1950s in our basement that my father used for beer and wine
Which is
and stuff. Yeah,
a really cool vintage refrigerator.
Oh, it's a beautiful,
yeah, super cool.
But so he said, "Would you clean it, please, for us, for me?" And I said, "Oh, sure." I looked at I said because I decided that I'm going to join him rather than beat him. You know,
Yep.
we are now we're brotherly
bonding.
love, working, bonding
Yes.
together. Yeah, yeah. And I'm keeping my mouth shut. And so I go down to look at the inside of it. The inside is worse than the outside.
Oh boy.
And I say, I'm going to work on this for probably a day, 2 days to clean this damn thing. And it's not pleasant.
And your sister wants it out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And your brother wants it to stay.
My brother is afraid of carrying it up the stairs is going to ruin the stairs because it's so bulky.
That's a good point. Yeah, and it's so heavy. And I think the stairs were paneled and done
Yeah,
after it was
that's right.
already encased in place down there.
That's right.
And again, it's just a neat little thing to have in the basement. You don't have to use it, but it's a cool little piece.
So my thought was, do I clean it or just let the next owner say that's got to go, and then deal with that after that? I mean, you know.
I am not sure I would waste too much energy cleaning the inside of a refrigerator that may never be used again.
Oh, it can be. Oh, you know, it's no energy saving. You're really pumping up your electricity.
If you plug that thing in, I'm sure it gets cold still, but the electric bill.
And you can't use it as a planter. You know.
Well, yeah, throw it out in the yard and just let some weeds grow. That would be a great planter.
Oh my gosh! Holy God! Well, at any rate, the good news is, and you've heard it here, folks. Okay, my brother said by the end of this week, you can tell Jessica that by Friday of this week, temporarily.
You can tell Jessica that we'll call her in 2 more months. No.
Yes, yeah. No, that the pictures could be taken.
Yes.
By the end of this week.
Excellent.
Now, don't tell anyone, folks, but I'm saying to you, Jess, set it up.
I was just going to say, I have to book the photographer because he's not just going to get a call and then come the next day. So I will call him today.
Yeah.
I'll tell him to put it in pencil.
for next week.
Yes.
And we'll tell my brother. Okay. And then he made the statement. I said, well, Dickie, when is it going to be able to be on the market after the pictures are taken? He said, that'll be up to Jessica.
Ooh, okay.
That was a big move.
That is a big move. I can do it in 24 hours, just so you know. So once I have those photos, we can be live the next day. So we got the spot. We're going to do it.
And then he said to me, this doesn't mean that while we're getting the house ready, or it's for sale or whatever, we still can't be cleaning.
I'm going to have to change the locks. And
I think that might be, that's a great idea.
Hey, listen, this
idea.
is for your own protection. I'm changing these locks and you don't get a key anymore.
Man. Hey, while we were gone for the last 2 weeks, we've had 2 specials. If you want to hear some wonderful conversation about something that you probably don't hear of every day on the radio, we had 2 Wow It's Tuesday specials that you can hear on Thursday or Wednesday or Friday or whatever on Gay Pride Month. And I filled the Zoom with gay folks, and we talked about the gay experience.
I love it.
Yeah, and we did it for 2 weeks, and I'm really proud of that work and the folks that came on and told their stories. And there are tons more stories to tell, and so many more projects to or what areas to discuss, because a lot of times people are always, they're afraid to put something out there and talk about it, and even if they don't agree, they it's a tough nut to crack, and so I hope we did it respectfully, but I didn't get to play any of the music that I had planned because the conversation was oh my God, it was going so great. So I was playing music that of famous gay, lesbian, and transgendered people, and one of them that most people don't recognize is the songstress Billie Holiday.
Oh.
You know Billie Holiday?
I've heard of Billie Holiday.
Oh,
yes,
man,
I've
Lady
heard
Sings
Billie
the
Holiday.
Blues?
Yes.
Oh, my God. Wonderful, wonderful singer who invented lots of. Her style is so unique. Watch the movie Lady Sing the Blues or any of the. I think Audra Day plays her in the United States against Billie Holiday in that movie. But I don't think that they go into her sexual identity. But at any rate, I thought that we would play her song that she wrote with another person called God Bless the Child as a tribute to Gay Pride Month. How's
Sounds
that?
good to me.
All
I
right.
like it.
Here's God Bless the Child.
Them that's got shall get, them that's not shall lose. So the Bible said, and it still is news. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Yes, the strong gets more while the weak ones fade. Empty pockets don't ever make the grade. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Money, you got lots of friends crowding round the door. When you're gone and spending ends, they don't come no more. Rich relations give crust of bread and such. You can help yourself, but don't take too much. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. He just don't worry about nothing, 'cause he's got his own.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com. Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Join us every Thursday morning
from 6 until at least 7:30.
Check out the Bobby G and Company Show
right here on WSKB 89.5
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 at 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Jessica Martin.
Good morning.
Jessica Martin Realty and the hives, of the Martins, the Martin hives. How are those bees anyway?
You know, the bees are being a little bit slow this year. We've had a lot of rain.
What does that slow them down? Why?
They can't fly in the rain, so they're not working in the rain. They kind of stay inside the hive. So I am seeing a slow going season for my bees. But the last time I poked my head in was about 2 weeks ago. So it's on my calendar tomorrow to take a look. But the traffic has just been light and a little bit slow. I did have good queens laying eggs and everything the last time I checked, but they just don't seem to be building up as fast as in a warmer, sunnier season.
So they're at the mercy of the climate.
The weather, yes. Yep.
Wow.
All kinds of challenges.
When a bee flies in the rain,
yes.
What happens?
Well, I mean, imagine if you're as tiny as a bee and you get hit with a big fat drop of rain. I imagine it takes you right down to the ground.
Do you, like a bird, the wings
just
go
flap
back and
those
forth?
wings until you're dry, yeah.
It's an interesting thing. I have the most attractive, I call them bumblebees.
Okay.
What is a, well, those aren't, this is a bee that is
With the big furry ones?
Yeah, the big furry ones.
Sometimes those are mason bees. Sometimes they're carpenter bees. Like, are they living in your deck or your porch where they drill a little hole?
Yeah. Oh, my God. I didn't know they drill a little hole.
Those are the carpenter bees. Yeah, if you look around where you have wood, if you have a lot of those big fat bees, you'll see that there's, like, perfectly
It's fake
round
wood.
holes.
It's concrete.
Then they might not be eating that. No,
Yeah,
it's
maybe
gotta be
they're
real
looking.
wood.
Oh, okay.
But if you've got, they're pollinators, too. So if you've got
They're
plants in the yard.
pollinators?
Yeah, they do the same thing. They got those little pollen pockets on their little legs, and they fill up with pollen. But they're solitary. They don't live communally like honeybees do. And I'm not sure that they make honey. There is another type of bee. I don't know if it's a bumblebee or something, where they make these little kind of balls of wax, and they store a honey-like substance inside for food. So that's another interesting version of a bee using nectar to make food, but it's not something we would harvest or eat.
They always look so friendly to me. They're not big stingers, are they?
No, they're not. Wasps are the more aggressive stingers. Like when people tend to say, I hate bees or I got stung by a bee, they usually mean a wasp, because if you get near a wasp's nest or if a wasp is coming after your food or your sugary drink, they will sting you, and they will sting you aggressively. But bees are more gentle. They will sting as a defense, but not for no reason. So most of those bees are very gentle. I've had some of those big fat furry ones land right on me and just kind of hang. You're like, oh, they vibrate a little bit.
Yeah. Do you hear somebody talking, or is that? I think there is.
There's voices in our heads.
There are either voices in our heads. Man, you might go into. Would you mind going in and just
is that in the control room?
Telling the kids to knock it off.
Quiet down.
Tell them there's not going to be any food for dinner if they don't shut up. All right. Hey, while Jessica's gone, I will tell you that this is the week of the garden tour, everybody. This is the weekend.
I heard him. I had one earphone on, Jessica.
Well, we were hearing. There.
I was trying to be quiet.
Okay. Gotcha.
I had the mic turned on.
Well, that's what it was. Okay. All righty. Thank you, boys. Thank you.
I've shushed them.
Look, he's walking. There's the kid. Go to
so
your
this So this video will never be on YouTube.
Go to your room. All right. Hey, I was just telling everybody the Grandmother's Garden Tour in Westfield is this weekend.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah. And apparently there must be some hives in some of those gardens, I would assume,
Yeah, we have bees in Westfield. There's plenty of beekeepers in town, so.
Yeah. If you wanted to join that beekeepers organization of yours, where do you go?
I love that question. It's the Hampden County Beekeepers Association, so you can Google that, or you can type in HCBEE.org.
HCBEE.org.
Yes.
Hampden County. HC for Hampden County.
And we meet one Thursday a month. We have in-person meetings. Now that restrictions have been listed, we meet in Chicopee. But it's a ton of Western Mass people and people like me who happen to live right over the border in Connecticut, which it's the closest proximity.
Do people bring honey desserts.
So yes, and how about this? This month, our meeting, we're having a honey sommelier, like a honey professional, come and teach us all about tasting honey and pairing honey and all kinds of things like that. Yeah, she wrote a book, and she will be at our club meeting the third Thursday. It's this week, Thursday night.
Have you ever put honey in bourbon?
Yes.
I love that honey bourbon that they serve.
Yes. I'm on a big bourbon kick right now, too, and I hadn't actually thought to add honey yet, so that's more of a wintertime, like a hot toddy vibe.
Yeah.
But summer bourbon, that's with lemonade.
Summer bourbon with lemonade.
That sounds nice, right?
That sounds really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, no, honey's good in almost anything. It is sugar, after all.
Oh, yeah. How much does it compare to calorie-wise to sugar?
Honestly, I think it's a little bit higher. I think
is it?
a higher calorie. Yeah, because people assume that it's healthier for you because it's natural, which could be true because it has antioxidants.
People have lived off of it.
Yeah, and there's antioxidants and like medicinal properties to honey, which you're not going to get from refined white sugar. But I do believe it has a higher carbohydrate count and a higher calorie count per like tablespoon if you compare them side by side. But again, it's from nature, and maybe better to put in if you're looking to sweeten something than just pure refined sugar.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of the idea that if you eat honey from the neighborhood, that it will help you not to have allergies?
That is a huge, huge thing, and it's a very good question. It's a question everybody asks. If I eat local honey, if I eat raw honey, will it help my allergies? I am a believer in that because one of the reasons we started keeping bees is because I have terrible seasonal allergies, and what could be more local than my own backyard? Yeah. So for years I ate honey. I do believe I saw a decrease in my allergies. That could be because of a reduction of pollen in the air. It could be changes in my body as I've gotten older. But there is actually, sadly, no scientific proof to support that the pollen in the honey actually helps to quell your allergies. It's a different kind of pollen than what's actually gets in the air and irritates us. So the pollens that the bees are collecting and bringing into the hive are traditionally not the ones that are floating around. So, so there's no proof, but it's kind of a homeopath thing, and keep it up, I say.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Why not? Hey, do you celebrate Flag Day?
Yes, we're big fans of Flag Day at our house. I didn't know it was Flag Day until I saw the notes for the show, and I was like, oh, Father's Day and Flag Day, great.
Yeah, it's I think it's National Flag Week as well.
I wouldn't even know how one begins to celebrate Flag Day. Do you pick your favorite flag, and does it have to be...
Actually, our mayor celebrated Flag Day by doing a standout yesterday between the green bridges.
Yeah.
And he handed out small flags to everybody, and as you were driving southbound on 10 and 202, you wave your flags.
Was that the U.S. flag? Or
yes.
Well, I wondered about that.
Flag Day
it's
is for the United States flag.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So it's not flags in general.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
It's not the one hanging behind you on the green screen.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
It's for the United States Flag Day.
All right. So here's a question for you. The flag was the original flag. Who was the woman that?
Betsy Ross.
Betsy Ross. Okay.
By tradition.
By tradition, and quite honestly, she was not the only one that did it. And that's all a big myth, all a big myth. However,
who did it, Bob?
Well, she and a whole group of people, to tell you the truth, a whole group of seamstresses. Betsy Ross was an upholsterer.
Oh.
So I think that probably they at First Flag had upholstery material or whatever, I like flags. We put the gay flag is on our house, but we put it up a flag all the time. It sort of sets the house. I mean,
seasonally, like, do you change it out for different things?
Well, yeah. July is a really good month for a American flag because of July 4th, and Memorial Day is another one. Oh God, I wonder when else we put it up. There are other times that we put it up. James is the one that we have one of those. And this is another, maybe this is cancel culture in action, I don't know, but something about we have that 13 original colony flag with the flags and the stars in the center.
Circle, yep.
Yeah. Supposedly, you're not supposed to put it up, or I heard that, because there was something wrong about the 13 colonies. Maybe that they had slavery. I don't know. But,
Oh, for Christ's sakes.
Well, at any rate, I don't know.
All the history is bad. Get rid of it.
No, yeah.
Yeah, then you're doomed to repeat it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so here's the deal. The way I've started to think of cancel culture, consequence culture. And if we start to think of the consequences of changing stuff, and if it's an improvement, then it's worth a real discussion.
Sometimes you have to remember the ugly history, not so you don't repeat the ugly
I know
history,
that.
Bob.
I know that.
You can't make everything Pollyanna.
No, we can't. No, we can't. But we really have to think in terms of, if indeed I use this word and it's an offensive to you, I don't want to offend you, so therefore I'm not going to use it.
Wait a minute. If the word is if I use the word and it's offensive to somebody, right? Should it not be gone for everybody, including there's a particular word that everybody gets in trouble for that should be gone from the English lexicon. And it begins with an N.
Yeah, okay, but
and it should not be used by other people if they don't want it used against them.
No. Well, let me use this the analogy. As a gay man, I don't use the word queer. I find
right,
it
and I agree with you. That's an offensive word.
Okay, but if you're queer,
it is largely embraced,
and it's embraced, and the reason why it's embraced, you've got to think of the reason why it's embraced. We take the power back. A person who uses a word that is a degradation, a pejorative word, a word that shouldn't be used, okay, but is used as by other folks. You take the power back by I'm going to call myself, this is who I am, because it takes the power away from you. But don't you dare call me that.
There's a difference between offensive language and hateful language. Mm-hmm. So that's where I draw the line, because I love offensive language. I think that people should be able to be expletive and express themselves. And I think that you can say anything you want as long as you're not saying it with hate in your heart. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Well, except some words.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No. Okay. Well,
my problem is it should be gone from the lexicon.
It's the intention. It's
well,
what you mean when you say.
Yeah. But
and
if
again, not everything is for public consumption, but for private conversations.
For private
home.
conversations.
Yeah, no,
my fear is,
have
you ever?
Publicly, of course.
Yeah. Have you? You have you're very good because you don't swear in public.
That's correct. I do not write swear words. I do not type swear words. You will never get a text message with a swear word in it from me. Mm-hmm. But I say them like crazy when I am in a comfortable space.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. But you are, and I surprisingly don't for some reason.
Ah.
I will say, unfortunately, well, I don't know. For the adverb is useless here, but I will use Jesus Christ's name in vain. If that's a sin or whatever, I don't know. But and I'm a lapsed Catholic, but when I say it, that's the extent. But if you know that I move up to the next word, the F word, you know that I'm furious.
Okay.
You know.
Well, that's where the power comes from, too. If you don't say it all the time, then somebody knows you mean it. Like, oh, Bob just said it. Oh, he means business.
Yes. Yeah.
So, it kind of loses its power if you say it all the time. When you yell it, no one cares because you talk like that all the time.
Yeah, that's exactly true. Hey, 7:14 in the morning, and Jason Mraz has come out as a person who is, I think, bisexual.
Interesting.
Yeah. Did you know that?
No.
And he's actually got a great song called "You and I Both," and I was going to play it last week. I think if you look online that he is saying that it doesn't really matter. It's sort of like that. The idea of I will have a relation with who I wish. And
it's a you do you, just don't throw it at me.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
That's how I look at life.
Yeah.
Don't throw it in my face, right?
Well, I can throw it in your face, and you can refuse it.
Yes.
Yeah, you can refuse it. I think. Yeah.
Right, but that doesn't endear me towards you if you throw it in my face.
Well, no,
That's
that's my choice.
Right.
Yeah, my choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I'm
think we're
perfectly
both good.
comfortable with everybody doing whatever the heck they want as long as it doesn't get shoved down my throat. That's all.
Okay. I would never. I don't think. Well, maybe if it was, you could say.
I'd tell you, Bob.
You'd say I'm uncomfortable. How would you say it?
I'd tell you straight out. I wouldn't even say uncomfortable. I said, I would say, I think you're making the wrong play, because I consider myself sort of Joe Average.
Yeah.
And if I'm pushed too far, like, people could take things in small doses, like the thought of aliens.
Mm-hmm.
But if all of a sudden the government came out tomorrow and told the general public, there's aliens and they're coming and they'll be here in 2 weeks, the entire world would panic. So people could take things in small doses, but if you throw it at them all at once, no bueno.
I'm of the opinion,
because I think we're getting spoon-fed stuff about aliens. I think have you noticed over the past couple of years?
Well, they're trying to
culture,
they're sneaking into our culture. They're
correct.
sneaking slowly into
so
our
correct.
culture.
So we're getting spoon-fed. We're getting spoon-fed. We're getting spoon-fed all this stuff. And
hit me with the truth, barkeep.
Within about 5 years, within about 5, you can't handle the truth, Bob.
Oh, come on! I can handle the truth.
They were right in that movie when what's his name said it, Jack Nicholson years ago.
Yeah, what is it?
A Few Good Men or something.
Yeah.
They were absolutely right when they said that. You can't handle the truth, and it's true. You can handle dribs and drabs of it.
We can't handle the truth that there's another world out there, that there are aliens?
No, because people will panic.
It's no secret.
Well,
because it's fear of the unknown, Bob. Humans have an innate fear of the unknown.
But if I'm told that this is what is, then I'm not going to get.
With the current trust level in government, would you believe them?
Let's not make it political here. But
but I'm just saying, would you believe them? No, you wouldn't.
It would be who said it and what my mood was and whether I believed it or not. Of course, I mean, let's face it. We all want to hear what we want to hear, but I would say that, yeah. If you said to me,
you the facts. If the science,
there are dinosaurs that are roaming down in.
They prepared us for that with Jurassic Park.
Okay, so yeah, they did. So okay, there's a roaming dinosaur in Suffield, and it's on its way here.
Yes.
Okay, what are we gonna do, Jess?
Take cover. I'm gonna go see the dinosaur. I'm that kind of adventurous. I want to go see it, so I'm gonna drive towards it.
Okay.
Where's the kaboom?
Yeah.
There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.
Yeah. I'm reading this great book. We'll talk about it in our book set called "The Splendid and the Vile," which is about Britain during World War II and the bombings, etc., and how people reacted because. There were I often wonder in war-torn countries, the bombs are
Imagine
coming.
With no social media, too. There was no Facebook update to tell
none.
you the bombs were coming.
And you had to live.
And you had to live by the radio, and that was your best estimate for when it was going to land and things like that.
And you had to make your decisions whether you were going to go for a walk, go to the store, et cetera, et cetera.
Get in the basement.
And it's not unlike hit me with the truth and I'll adjust to it. So the truth is we're in the middle of a war and but there are going to be bombs and I'm in danger perhaps of being hit by a bomb. And I then make my behavior match where I am. And that's what I say with hit me with the truth. Hit me with the truth about aliens. I mean, I might be delighted for all you know, but I also might be scared. But what would I do? I mean, what are we going to do?
We're just going to keep waking up and living our best life every day, Bob. That's all we can do.
Oh, man. Neville Shute wrote a good book called On the Beach, where it was the end of the world, supposedly, and most of the world was destroyed by an atom bomb or something, and Australia was the only place. It's a wonderful movie, incidentally, by I think Stanley Kubrick did it, if I'm not mistaken, but On the Beach. What it turned out in the book was that people continued their regular lives, and some people didn't. Some people partied till like there was no tomorrow because there was no tomorrow. It's an interesting concept, what you do, making your life as meaningful as possible for the moment that you're living it, I suppose, is the best way. But sometimes it might be, well, we're going to go out in the garden and watch the bees, because that's what that's the most I can do here.
Sometimes it's the best thing you can do.
Let's go to nature. Go to nature. Hey, everybody. So anyway, Jason Mraz, where do we get off? I mentioned him a while back.
That was a side branch down the road to nowhere.
Yeah, no, he's been waiting to sing, you and I both. Here it is.
Was it you who spoke the words that things would happen, but not to me? All things are gonna happen naturally. Oh, taking your advice, and I'm looking on the bright side and balancing the whole thing. Oh, but it oftentimes those words that get tangled up in lines, and the bright light turns to night. Oh, until the dawn it brings another day to sing about the magic that was you and me. 'Cause you and I both loved what you and I spoke of, and others just read of. Others only dream of the love, or the love that I love. Yeah, love. See, I'm all about them words, over numbers, unencumbered, numbered words, hundreds of pages, for words, more words than I had ever heard, and I feel so alive, 'cause you and I both loved what you and I spoke of, and others just read of. And if you could see me now, oh, love, you and I, not so little you and I anymore. And with the silence brings a moral story, more importantly evolving is the glory of a boy. 'Cause you and I both loved what you and I spoke of, and others just read of. And if you could see me now, well then I'm almost finally out of. Well, I'm almost finally, well, I am free. Oh, I'm free. And it's okay if you had to go away. Oh, just remember the telephones, well, they're working in both ways. But if I never ever hear them ring, if nothing else, I'll think the bells inside have finally found you someone else, and that's okay. 'Cause I remember everything you sang. 'Cause you and I both loved what you and I spoke of, and others just read of. And if you could see me now, well then I'm almost finally out of. Finally well, I'm almost finally, well, out of words.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
This is Ken Stomsky from Ken's Den on WCPC 15 and 89.5 FM, Tuesdays, 8 to 10.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Wow.
Wow.
It's Tuesday. I was touching the green screen here, and it looked like I was leaning against the trees or whatever. But I got to tell you, something really great happened. Now, you guys got to know about this. Urban Canopy came to my house. Peter, I don't know if you're still there. Is he behind? I think he's left. He
left the building.
Okay. Hey, Pete, I sent you like 3 pictures of trees.
I really need to go to the bathroom, but okay.
Okay.
We'll do this.
Okay, because this is really important. In Ward 2 and Ward 3, look at that. Well, it's a wonderful picture except for my big thumb up there, my finger there. But look at what's happening outside of my house on the tree belt.
Yeah, that's by a grant that they got.
Yeah.
The city got a grant for that.
Yeah, and it's a 2-year grant. They have the ability, there it is. Now, everybody, if you're in this area in Ward 2 or Ward 3, massurbancanopy.org.
Yeah, and they can also talk to the Park and Rec Department.
That's right. But if you go on massurbancanopy.org, what they'll do is they will talk to you, and you can say to them, I would like 5 trees. Or 6 trees. They'll come. That's Sarah in the front, the wonderful woman. She's an arborist, and she'll walk you through it. And there are 30 different kinds of trees that you can plant.
They also coordinate with our tree warden to see what species are appropriate for the city of Westfield.
No, it's exactly right. And there are 30 beautiful trees. We got a ginkgo biloba, which is we got 3 trees, and one is a ginkgo biloba. One was a maple that's red. It's a really beautiful bark. And the other one, I can't tell you, was something that James liked. But not only can it be planted on your tree belt, they will also plant trees on your property.
Oh.
So this is an opportunity for folks in both urban Ward 2 and Ward 3 to increase the tree canopy in our city, and it's very important. Do bees like trees, incidentally?
Bees do like trees. Yeah, they get a lot of pollen from trees, and they make the propolis from tree sap, that little bee glue that's supposed to be so beneficial to our health. But yeah, they definitely visit trees as well as flowers and plants and vegetables.
Well, I would say that this was one of the better things we did in the recent years. Sarah came, we walked the property. She actually helped us to say, oh, this tree is alive and well. Don't worry about it, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
And then she took us out to and we picked the spot. And picked a spot for viewing. There was a couple of signs that needed to be seen, so she helped us to pick the area. She put an X on the spot, and then she came back with that wonderful team of folks who came and planted the trees. So if you're in Ward 2 or 3 in Westfield for the next 2 years, incidentally, call Mass Urban Canopy or go online to massurbancanopy.org, and you can see if you're eligible. And once you're eligible, you can pick your trees and watch them grow. There's nothing better to watch. Have you watched things grow?
So I am getting super into plants right now. I've been doing. We have too many trees in our yard.
Oh yeah.
So I can't really plant anything in the ground because our yard is very shady. I'm lucky if I get grass to grow in the yard. But I've started doing some planter growing this year. And I love it. I've been picking up a plant here and there when I'm out, and I've got a cute little shelf set up. It looks like a little Japanese garden with a bunch of different pots on it, and I'm watering them, and they're growing. And yes, I cannot believe how delighted I am every morning to see that they're a little taller or whatever.
Do you do what I do? A watch plant never grows.
Don't hover over your
don't
plants,
hover.
yeah.
Every day I go out. I planted this on the side of my house, around the corner from the flag and all that. On the other side, on there near the driveway, was this area, and it was getting. James had planted and we had planted whatever, but the weeds were growing in and there. So we said finally we got rid of the mulch and the plastic that was incorrectly put there. And so I spread it with wildflower seeds, and I really did as many as I could, and now I'm watching them grow.
I love it.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Incidentally, the caveat about those trees is that you have to agree to water those trees once a week for the next 2 years, and
give them a chance to go.
Yeah, to give them a real chance to grow. But it's worth it, and it's going to be beautiful. beautiful for our town. But at any rate, hey, we have to. Why don't I play a quick song for Father's Day? This is called "Put It There." It's by the Rebel Kicks group, and they've got their dad singing. It's for Father's Day. A little 2 minutes, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about a book that is very interesting. It's called The Midnight Library. All right, did we like it or didn't we like it? Oh, you've got both. Okay.
To shake it, I want to show you I'm your friend. You'll understand if I can make it clear. It's all that matters in the end. Put it there, if it weighs a ton. That's what a father said to his youngest son. I don't care if it weighs a ton. As long as you and I here, put it there. Long as you and I here, put it there. If there's a fight, I like to fix it. Hate to see things go so wrong. The darkest night and all these mixed emotions, it's getting lighter, sing along. Put it there, if it weighs a ton. That's what a father said to his youngest son. I don't care if it weighs a ton. As long as you and I here, put it there. Long as you and I here, put it there.
Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
Join me, Tina Gorman, each week from 6 to 8 a.m. for Wake Up Wednesday, when my guests and I discuss health, wellness, and lifestyle reimagined.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Book lovers, hi everyone. I'm Bob Plass. We're here with Pete Coles, the kitten of the keys, meow, and
Meow.
yeah, and we've got Buzz over here. We got the Martin Hives woman,
Buzz,
yeah. That's your sound,
Like a bee.
Yeah.
Jessica, back away from the table slowly.
No sudden
but
movements.
she is also a reader, and we read a book that's on the New York Times bestseller list, a lot of bestseller lists. It's a very small book, but it's got great reviews, and we were so excited to read it. It's called The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, Haig. And you gave it a thumbs up and a thumbs down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh?
Talk about, yeah. And you don't want to hear something? I hated this book more than any book I've read in the last 3 or 4 years.
Bob is
I
disappointed.
I hated
it.
Hated it.
Spoiler alert.
Stay
Bob
away
hates
from
the
this
book.
book.
Stay away from this
Oh,
book.
no.
So now you're going to discuss it.
And yeah. But the truth, exactly
you
right. We'll
dislike
tell you
this
why. I would say this, that for me, I was so looking forward to reading this book. Listen to the premise. Tell everybody the premise. I read this.
The premise of this book. So I was very excited.
Me too.
I knew nothing of this book, and you sent me an email that said, "Hey, how about we read this book? It's very popular. Let's check it out." So I grabbed a little snippet about the book, and I said, "Oh yeah, this looks great." Got it, and started it. And again, super excited. I told Sean, "Oh, Bob just recommended this book for us to discuss, and it's so cool. There's like this parallel universe thing." So what you have is a British woman in her 30s who kind of has a dead-end life. She works at a music shop, and she's not doing much with herself.
No.
So
It's a very smart woman.
spoiler alert, she decides that she's going to end her life, and that is not a spoiler alert because
No,
it's like
not
10
at all.
pages into the book.
No.
And thus begins her journey into the Midnight Library, which is a place where you go where there are infinite numbers of books, and you can pull any book from the shelf, and it is a parallel universe version of your life if you had made a different decision at some point earlier on.
It's what your life would have become.
So I thought that was fascinating. And
And doesn't that sound like a really exciting book?
Yes, it sounds great. And the one thing that I loved was there's one part very early in the beginning. The Midnight Library has a librarian, so there's a woman there she can query and ask questions about the Midnight Library.
Mrs. Elm is her name.
Mrs. Elm, but she
Nora Seed is the character of the lead character. Seed and Elm. I thought, oh God.
I didn't even notice that. Yeah.
How coy.
Oh God, how trite.
But there
Man.
was a part
Yeah,
where
yeah.
when you open a book, you visit this parallel life and you get to experience what your life would have been like. And then if you decide you're disappointed, you get sucked right back into the Midnight Library to try again. So Nora asks the librarian, what happens to that life when she leaves it? She's entering it and she's leaving it. Does that Nora continue to go on? And the answer was, haven't you ever walked into a room and forgot why you were there? And I thought, oh, that's genius. That's a genius explanation for something that happens to us all the time, to say, oh, I ran upstairs to my room. Why did I come up here? What was I doing?
So you have a clone?
Another version of me from another universe was just trying on my life for a minute.
Oh, interesting.
And I blacked out and
Yeah,
can't remember what happened. So for me, that was the most exciting and interesting takeaway from the book.
So deja vu is glitches in the Matrix.
Yes, and that we are all living all of these infinite possibilities and maybe trying things on all
Technically,
the time.
that's true.
And they mentioned
theory.
quantum physics and
quantum theory says that.
I wonder if
string theory.
No, it's quantum theory,
Oh, is it?
infinite
Yeah.
number of possibilities.
Yeah,
gotcha.
so you're like, wow, okay, so that is all super interesting. But then we just delve into, she could have been famous, she could have been this, she could have been that.
Oh God, listen what she could have been.
Is that like Quantum Leap? I mean,
Well,
Quantum Leap was something similar,
What's
where
it?
somebody
Dimensional
somebody jumped into somebody's lives to right wrongs.
Mm.
They were being directed by some higher power.
Well,
the premise
she actually was going into these lives to learn. She could choose a life and if she liked it, because she had lost her job, and her brother wasn't speaking to her, and what else? I mean, there was a
her cat had been
her cat that
cat had died.
and her best friend had
moved to Australia.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the cat dying pushed her over the edge, everyone, unfortunately. And she commits suicide.
Attempts
suicide.
He wakes up in another life.
And wakes up in the library, and then she gets to go into all of these lives. And so you see her as an Olympic swimmer.
Yes.
Right. Then you see her as a glaciologist. Peter, you would have loved this. A glaciologist in Antarctic? Arctic. Yeah. Defending herself against a polar bear.
Yes.
Right?
Nice.
Yeah. And then at another time, then she also writes music.
Yep.
She was part of a band, and I thought, well, Jessica's going to like this. She's a part of a rock band and whatever, or metal band, and she writes these great lyrics and stuff. And her brother, who happens to be a gay guy in the book, and that's a nice part, that the brother just happens to be gay. It's not a theme. It's just, but again, I thought, trying too hard, the writer.
Keep it all in there.
Yeah. Stick it all in. Throw in the kitchen sink. Throw it all in. And so the brother stops speaking to her because, in real life, because he does not want to she does not want to go on tour or want to take to the next level and become a famous band.
But because of a crappy boyfriend, right? So if she made a different decision about quitting the band because the boyfriend was discouraging her from the band, maybe she would have been a famous musician. So we got to visit that life too.
Yes, yeah. And somehow or other, I don't think that, she's going to go from one life to another. And once she lives that life or sees that life, she can, and it's the life of, the Book of Regrets. Explain this Book of Regrets.
The Book of Regrets was interesting. So that's the one book in the library that has every single regret, whether it's like you regretted wearing that plaid shirt this morning, all the way to relationships you ended or dreams you didn't pursue. So it's a big book, and that's how you get to whichever life you're going to try. You decide to change one of those regrets, like what if I was a better sister, what if I stayed in the band, all the things. And the Book of Regrets, as you visit these lives, gets smaller and smaller because they're no longer regrets when you go back and look at them in a different way. Mm-hmm. But also interesting that she was able to visit all of these lives. And I guess that's the theme, is that we're never happy, right? Like, she was a famous musician. She was a glaciologist. She was an Olympic medal winning swimmer. She had a husband and a nice family, all these different things, lived in Australia, went swimming at the beach every day, but was always disappointed in no matter which life she showed up in. She ended back in the library.
Slap her silly.
Yes.
It's always disappointed. I mean, she was a whiner from the get-go.
It's a lesson in be happy with what you have, because the other options are not, the grass is always
not always
greener,
fun,
etc. Yeah, which is where it got very cliche for me, because it's a nice lesson to take away, but it's also very cliche to say, just enjoy what you have, because what you missed out on isn't always what you wanted either.
Well, is that something that we need to repeat to ourselves 45 times?
Over 250 pages.
Over 250 pages. Over and over. I just, right around the middle, I was saying, this is claptrap. This is, and I loved what one of the reviewers, most of the reviewers liked this book a lot.
I mean, it made it on all those lists.
Oh my God!
Bestseller. So
listen to this.
Somebody liked it.
Yeah. The New York Times. Haig remains a keen observer of contemporary life. His dialogue has snap and charm. Matt Haig uses words like a tin opener. We are the tin. Matt Haig is adept at digging into the human heart. Haig writes exquisitely from the perspective of the heart-sore outsider, but at their most moving, his novels reveal the unbearable beauty of ordinary life. Well, hell. If this is... now, this writer, it's called, I think, Chat Barber or something. It was a review online that I listened to. She called it a fake deep book.
Fake deep. I like that. Yeah. It is very superficial. I'll agree with that.
The characters, the shallow side characters that you really don't know anything about. What do we know about her?
And that she is so invested in, though. She so much cares about what the father thinks, what the brother thinks, what this surgeon stranger thinks, like, she's so concerned with all of what everyone else is thinking, and you don't really get why, because what have those people done to have such an impact on her? You're right. There's no depth to the characters.
No depth. And
no one's really likable either.
They're no.
Maybe Mrs. Elm is likable.
Yeah. Is this making everybody want to read this book? It's so interesting for me to... so I waited. I didn't say anything to James about reading this book. As I read the book, I said, you got to read this book. And so he starts reading it. And he reads it like in a day and a half. It's a fast read, incidentally. It saves the reader. That's the good news. It's a very fast read. But so about halfway through the book, James says to me, I said, what do you think? He said, I really am liking this book.
Oh, no.
And I'm thinking, really? And then he gets halfway through it and he says,
why'd you make me read this book?
It's becoming sort of like trite.
Yes.
It's
trite.
Trite is the word.
Wow, there's a word.
Yeah. And then I started to think after I listened to it. Sometimes it's good to listen to these reviews online. Go on YouTube and put in the book and hear a review. And this woman was not afraid of using the F word. Believe me, we were talking about that. A young woman from who actually she admitted that she suffered from mental illness. Okay, she was suffering.
Goody! It gets more fun.
No. This was the reviewer, not the book. But
because of the book.
The book made her
no. Well,
mentally ill.
no. But the interesting thing, Peter, is that you hit it on the nail on the head. The book is about mental illness. At the beginning of the book,
or is it reality and everybody thinks it's mental illness?
No. Well, okay, but
if you consider it at face value, is it reality? Is it like the one where Bruce Willis goes, "I see dead people," and he's the dead person.
Yeah, well, you would hope that there would be some twist like that. On her journey, incidentally, she runs into somebody who is sliding through time.
Yeah.
They call them time sliders. And
show about that too. I remember that on Fox. Called Sliders.
Oh, there you are. Well, this guy. It's true. When he came onto the scene, I said, maybe it's going to change. Maybe it's going to get better because now there's a conflict. We got this other guy who's sliding through time, et cetera, and weaving in and out. I think she sees him twice or three times in the book. So
in the end, we go back to the infamous Men on Film.
What is Hated it. But I got to say this. No. The important part about this mental illness stuff. Okay. Yes. Yeah. The mental illness part is he throws away the fact that this woman has problems, okay? And she has, at the end of her life, and of course she's kicked over by the cat dying, but which shows her shallowness and whatever. This is a woman whose life is not going to be solved by, as it is, at the end of the book, everything resolves. She goes back and everything is resolved.
Yes.
And life is not that simple. And it forgets that somebody who's reached the point of suicide has a lot of work to do.
Yes.
And you don't just change the my husband is now nice to me.
Yes.
I just won the lottery.
I just won the lottery. You don't change your life that way. It doesn't happen. You got a lot of work to do. I mean,
Bob, you need to pay the programmers more to if you want to change your life.
Well, yeah, or you gotta.
I still think we're all in a simulation.
You gotta do a lot of regret. You gotta do a lot of work.
Yes.
And it's so. I mean, like when you read the book and you go, "Oh, isn't it wonderful that everything changed?" It's such a happy ending. It's such an unrealistic ending to me, and it really does a disservice to mental illness. Yes. Just imagine if at the end of the book, that she actually dies, and then that the novelist switches to her brother, looking back at this woman's life as the ultimate regret.
Interesting.
It's
just a nice twist. Yeah, because really she just survives a suicide attempt, wakes up and decides to drastically change her life and not take anything for granted. But do you feel like with something that drastic that the occasional person, the exception to the rule could be like, wow, I was in a really bad place. I didn't die, so now I really am like 180-degree turn. Do you feel like that's something
killed her cat.
Would happen?
What if something? Her cat died. She thought she killed it or something. I think.
She didn't care for it properly. It was her regret.
Okay, and that pushes her over the edge. What if after she makes the decision, and let's say after we don't see what happens in chapter 40, in 49 or 50 or 54. What if something bad happens?
Right. How is she going to handle that? She has not set herself up with a good set of coping skills yet. That's for sure.
She's not. No. I hated this book. I'm giving it a 1 because I think I am so tired of books becoming popular that are superficial.
Yeah. I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the 2.5 because I'm going to give it some credit for being interesting and sucking me in the very beginning.
Oh, yeah.
And getting excited. And then it kind of, like you said, it like halfway through it kind of tanks and then becomes this cliche life lesson that you can get anywhere. You can go on Pinterest and read a little sign about staying positive.
Oh, yeah. The Midnight Library by Matt Haig probably gets one of the lowest reviews we've ever given any book.
This is one that we both actually agree that we dislike too, which we don't always agree on the books. We usually mutually like things, but we both dislike this.
Yeah. And this is not to say, the review that I read said that his book Humans was one of the best. The reviewer who said this was crap said that the reviewer said that Humans, his book called Humans, was one of the best books she had ever read.
Do you give an author another try when you hate the first book that you
I
read
can't.
by them?
I hated this one so much.
So you
I will
not try.
never read a Matt Haig book again. I will not. I don't. Life is too short.
Yeah.
When there are writers like Eric Larson's new book,
yes.
which I am reading right now, and it is absolutely wonderful. I'm right here. I am right halfway through it, and it's about it's a saga of Churchill family and defiance during the Blitz in London, and you learn about Churchill, his family, his decisions, and it's a story he follows. Eric Larson writes a great book because he tells stories.
It's a very good nonfiction narrative, that's for sure. If
he knows.
If you're going to read nonfiction and you're not a nonfiction person, Eric Larson's the way to go. He's got a lot of good books.
The guy that wrote Dead Wake and Devil in the White City has written a wonderful book called Splendid and the Vile. I would recommend that. Well, any other book you want to recommend? So put the good taste in people's mouths here.
I know. I'm going to go with my cliche thing, which is very funny because I haven't been reading Stephen King for a very long time.
Yeah.
We read Later, obviously.
Oh, yeah,
That
we
was
liked
just a quick
Later.
one. But this morning I just started from a Buick 8, which is an older Stephen King book, and I'm really enjoying that. So that's what I'm currently reading. And
what is it called? Buick 8?
From a Buick 8.
From a Buick 8?
Yep.
And the premise?
It's very interesting. So this 1950s Buick in mint condition is parked in a police garage and all locked up. And one of the police officers at the barracks is killed in action, and his 18-year-old son starts to hang around the barracks to kind of, deal with his grieving and be around the cops, and he starts helping out. So he sees it in there, and he wants to know what's going on with that beautiful car in that garage. So they've just started to tell him the story about how the car came to be in the garage. So I don't even really know if it's going to be a space car or a Christine or what's going to happen.
He wrote a book about a car
haunted car, yes. So this is another similar thing, but I'm starting to think maybe it's space aliens or it's a monster of some sort.
Is it an older book of his?
It is a little bit older, yeah.
How long a book? That's always the question.
It's
with
a big
Stephen
one.
King.
Yeah, it's over 400. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I like him, so I'll just keep following him down that road. But I still haven't read everything he's written, so that's what I am reading currently.
Good for you. Good for you. Well, I'm going to continue reading this. We'll find another good book for the next month to read, and it's important to read. I think even bad books. Never to read Matt Haig again. Terrible. Oh God. At any rate. Hey, here's a little quiz for you. It's Father's Day.
Oh boy!
All right, Peter, you can play this game if you like. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, all righty. I am going to.
Is it this quiz, Bob?
Huh? 10 signs you might be a Launch fan. Oh no! Oh no!
Okay, it's not that quiz.
All right.
I'll do that during Kenny's show.
Oh, I love that. Where's my glasses? Where are my glasses?
Where are your glasses?
I don't know where my glasses are. I've lost my glasses. All right, so I am going to tell you the father and a son, okay? I'm going to give you a father and a son. You tell me what their last name is, okay?
Oh, boy.
All right? Bob and these are famous people.
Oh, okay.
Bob and Jacob.
Bob and Jacob.
Bob and Jacob. Peter, you want to try this?
Bob and Jacob Dylan.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Just popped into my head.
Stephen and Joe.
Stephen, wish the names were more.
Stephen and Joe.
Stephen and Joe.
Oh, come on.
Stephen. Oh, King.
Stephen King and
Joe Hill.
their son. That's
Okay.
exactly right. How about this one? Michael and Kirk.
Douglas.
Yes.
Okay. Julio and Enrique.
Iglesias.
That's right. Ben and Jerry.
The ice cream guys, they're not father and son.
Well, this is going to be a different Ben and Jerry.
The different Ben and Jerry.
Lewis?
Ben Lewis?
Oh, Stiller.
Stiller. Yeah.
Ben Stiller.
I had to
You
think
got
of the
it.
right genre.
That's exactly right. All right. How about this one? Bob and Ziggy.
Marley.
Oh, that's an easy one. Okay. Henry and Peter.
Fonda.
Very good. James and Josh.
James and Josh. Groban?
You're close. Groban, did you say? Is that what you said?
Yeah, Groban.
James Josh Groban? No,
Yeah.
no. But it's close. It sounds like that. Change the G to a B.
Broslin?
No, James and Josh Brolin.
Brolin.
James Brolin, Josh Brolin.
Nope.
How about Lloyd and Jeff? Lloyd and Jeff and Bo.
Yeah,
Bridges?
Kenny says Bridges.
Bridges. Very, very good. How about John and Julian?
Lennon.
John and Sean.
Lennon.
Okay. Eugene and Dan.
Levy.
Oh, look at you. You're really, that's
Woo!
really very, very
Points
good.
for Peter.
Yeah, Donald and Eric.
Trump.
Oh, there we go. Charlie and Emilio.
Estevez.
Yep. But that's not really their
Sheen.
last name. Sheen.
Who's
Sheen
their father?
Estevez.
Who's
Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen. And, okay, Martin's real name is Estevez.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Now, wait a minute. I got a couple of questions for you here. Wait a minute.
I love that you're working from an actual notebook.
I am.
It's like the old days.
Handwritten notes.
Oh,
today.
When he had his calendar
yeah,
thingy.
yeah. What type of animal species has fathers who give birth to their young?
Species.
Marsupials?
I'll give you choices: kangaroos, seahorses, toads, or spiders.
Seahorses.
Seahorses. Female seahorses lay their eggs inside a pouch on the males.
Yeah.
And he then carries the eggs while they
Good
develop.
job, Jessica.
And yeah, that's very good.
I love seahorses.
Yeah. In the Bible, whose father was prepared to sacrifice him on an altar?
Oh.
The father and the son.
I'm only picturing
The father's
the
Abraham.
line
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the
Who's the
wardrobe.
son?
Lot?
Nope. David, Abel, Joseph, or Isaac?
Isaac.
Isaac. You are absolutely right.
Nice job.
Indiana Jones' dad was played by whom in what 80s?
Sean Connery.
And in what film did he play that?
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Nope.
Temple of Doom?
Nope.
Was the original one?
Nope.
It's the newer, the
The
fourth.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull or The Last Crusade? Which?
Crusade. Last Crusade.
It's in The Last Crusade. Absolutely right. Gomez was the father of which TV family?
Adams.
The Adams family. Yep, I almost shouted out
The
the monsters.
Adams family. That's exactly right. And who was Gomez's children?
Wednesday.
Yes.
Pugsley.
And Wednesday.
Yes.
Happy Father's Day. You
Thank
guys
you.
are great.
I'm a great father.
You are so good. Hey,
Unfortunately, I won't get anything for Father's Day because my son is in. He went on deployment last Saturday.
oh, thank him for his service. Honestly, where's he going to?
He's in Kosovo, in the former Yugoslavia.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. What's your son's first name?
Tim.
Of course. Okay. Tim, we send you all the very best and be safe out there. Hey, everybody, we come to another end of a great 2 hours. Thank you, Jessica. Love you.
Of course. Love you too.
Yeah. More saga with the house. we'll get to reading. And those bees, I hope it clears up so that they'll be able to get out there and get you some bees.
There's still time. We got to make that honey.
Yeah, Jessica Martin Realty, everybody, and Martin Hives on Facebook. Hey, why don't we go out with a very great rendition of, since yesterday was Flag Day, why don't we do the American flag, the Star Spangled Banner, as sung by Lady Gaga at the last inauguration. And it's a really great version. Here you go. And we'll see you next week, everybody. Get out there and volunteer. Donate. See you soon.